to welcome you in this month of October to another monthly Manna. Every month this year, I've been bringing basic teaching, biblical principles, life principles that might help us, and things that we can think about. Manna giving us some nutrition and give you things to consider and apply, hopefully, this month and in the months to come. Today I want to talk about how to live your best life now. How to live your best life now. And when we ponder that thought, it seems to me there are three components to living our very best life. Sometimes I've shared some of these principles at a wedding and with a bride and groom at the altar. My gift to them at that moment has to do with these things, because I think if you understand and embrace these three ingredients to living your best life now and tomorrow and every day of your life, it really enriches the whole experience for you and those whom you love. And here's the three things that I think are necessary for you to live your best life now. The first thing is you need someone to love. You need someone to love. I believe that we were created by God for relationship. We're created by God for relationship. I'm not talking about marriage relationship, although that is, of course, a significant relationship, a core of every society. But other relationships are also very important. Loving your children or your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your grandparents, loving your friends or having a special friend. You need someone in your life to love. That enhances your experience here on earth. Sometimes people, it's not a matter of someone to love, but something to love. Some people love their pets, their dog, their cat, whatever that might, and they really love them in a very genuine way. And when they pass, they grieve like the loss of a family member sometimes. And we shouldn't mock that, because we have a deep need to express and receive love. Some people love their job or their career. Some people find great satisfaction in whatever it is they're doing. Maybe you're a doctor, a nurse, a teacher. You may be a builder, and they love what they do. It's something to love. But I also believe there needs to be someone to love in our lives. And for many of you listening to me today, and it's my personal experience over many decades, I love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ, and I know He loves me. And the more I know Him, the more I draw close to Him, the more convinced I am that He loves me, and I know He died for my sins. And even though I'm, like you, a flawed human being, imperfect in many ways, the unconditional love of God expressed through Jesus Christ is such an encouragement each and every day. So to live your best life now, you need someone to love. Secondly, you need something meaningful to do. Something meaningful to do. Now, we find meaning in different things. Things that give you great meaning might not move me. Some of you perhaps love to work outside in your garden and to feel rich earth through your fingers, to grow vegetables or flowers or cut your grass and trim it. For me, it looks suspiciously like work. I cut the grass and I shovel snow on occasion. I'll do those kind of things, but to say they give me great meaning, that would not be true. We need to find things in our life that give us great meaning. It's meaningful to us. We're inclined to become a bit bored or feel empty in life if we don't find meaning in some activities. Now, I would say that ideally, our place of employment is something that gives us great meaning, great fulfillment. You've heard it said, perhaps, find something that you love to do and do it so well that people will pay you. Now, that's the perfect scenario. I've mentioned it several times over the years. It's a very Western concept, and maybe a very American concept, that you must love your job. Find a job, only take a job that you love. That's kind of nearsighted. The truth is, your job is the place you earn income to support yourself and your family. You may love it, you may not love it. You got to do it. We're not going to pay you not to go to your job. You have to have a job, earn your income, and there's a dignity in work. We do a terrible disservice to people in paying them not to work or making it very easy to skirt that responsibility. You think you're being compassionate, you're being selfish. There's a dignity in earning your own income and paying your own bills, and we need to make that a possibility for everybody who possibly can. Something meaningful to do. Now, your job may not be the place that you find great meaning. It gives you an income, and you have to do it about 40 hours or so a week, but your meaning may come when you leave the job. Maybe you coach a youth soccer team, or baseball team, or football team. Maybe you volunteer sometime to deliver meals to the shut-ins, or maybe you do other kinds of things as a volunteer in the community. That gives your life great meaning. Someone to love, something meaningful to do. I believe that we find our greatest fulfillment in life not when we spend all of our time and money on ourselves, but when we reach out and do something to help other people. Unselfish service to other people. And ideally, people who cannot pay you back. A great need in the community where I live right now, in Raleigh, North Carolina, is after-school tutors. There is just about 5 minutes from our campus, a refugee community. United Nations has settled refugees in an apartment complex there. 30 or 40 nations are represented in those various apartments, and our church has been very involved in that community over the years. I've taught ESL there myself. I have my youth and children's pastor assigned there several hours every week. Some of those folks now have come to our church. We have a big food ministry, and we can make that available to many of those refugees. But one of their great needs is after-school tutoring, because these children who come from many different countries of the world, some of them not even speaking English when they arrive on American shore, they need some help with their schoolwork. And over the years, some of the folks from our church have volunteered as tutors several hours a week for these children. And many of the children, some of them now, they've been in our church for several years, once they grasp English, they are so dedicated to their studies, consistently go for homework help every day after school. 2 young ladies, one from the Congo and one from Kenya, just this fall are on full university scholarships because of the excellence in the classrooms at our local high schools. But both of them didn't come from wealthy backgrounds. Both of them came from nations in Africa that had some challenges and rose up out of poverty, but hard work creates opportunity. And they worked hard. And they had some assistance with after-school tutors. And their tutors felt so fulfilled. And those who have moved in and live among the refugees, a wonderful ministry, Refugee Hope Partners, folks have moved in and lived there and organized these after-school activities and summer camps and tutoring and opportunities to grow and to assimilate into American culture. What fulfillment that gives. And it gives a lot of people, a lot of volunteers, something meaningful to do. I believe we serve God best by serving other people. I want you to live your best life now. How do you do it? You need someone to love, something meaningful to do, and lastly, something to look forward to. I believe the grace of anticipation really enriches our lives. Think about your own life. Thinking about that summer vacation, thinking about getting together with friends for dinner, thinking about going to some local football game, sporting event, concert, and the preparation for it, the purchasing of tickets, the setting on your calendar, anticipation is thrilling, and sometimes the anticipation supersedes the fulfillment. And the activity or the event is not quite what you had hoped, but the anticipation was great. How about Christmas with family or friends? Thanksgiving dinner, you can smell the turkey right now. Something about anticipation. We need to have something to look forward to. It keeps us moving steady in good directions. I, early on in my adult life, learned how important it is to always have things to look forward to. I heard a man once say that you need to shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll still hit a star. I'm always looking forward to the next thing I'd really like to do. And so if I'm a missionary in Alaska, as I was in the mid-70s, and it's cold and gray and sometimes a bit of a barren place, it was okay, because I knew someday I'm going to Africa. And several years later I did, and spent 12 years on the continent of Africa. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I was the principal of a theological college. I opened a Christian counseling center. It was a full life, and I enjoyed it and raised my children there in Zimbabwe, Africa. But whenever there was a challenging day, a problem, a shortage, it was okay, because I knew someday I was coming back to America to pastor a church, maybe to be a college professor. Always looking forward, somewhere in my heart and mind, knowing that there's something to look forward to. Even at this season of life, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm finding great fulfillment in it, but I have several things that I still anticipate, I look forward to. So it's very seldom you're going to find me overwhelmed or down. I shake it off quick, because I know whatever I'm doing now is a preparation for the next thing God will have me to do. We need someone to love, something meaningful to do, and something to look forward to. If you are a man or woman of faith hearing me today, if you've given your life to Jesus Christ and you've made him your Lord, if you've asked him to forgive all of your sins, he surely has. I want to tell you, no matter what your situation is today, no matter what your wealth or your health might be at this hearing, I want to remind you, you have something to look forward to. It's a place called heaven. Jesus shared this with his disciples in John's gospel. They were a little upset because he had told them about his impending date at the cross and the beatings and what was going to happen. But he said, it's okay. I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Told them not to be afraid, because someday we'll go into heaven. I want you to live your best life now. Here's the 3 things you'll need to make that a reality. Listen carefully. You need someone to love. You need something meaningful to do, and something to look forward to. I hope you will think about those 3 truths during this month of October, and like manna for your soul, may it be nutritious and encouraging and strengthening for the days ahead. God bless you. Have a wonderful month.